Yes.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yes. See, we already.
Hey,
have,
all right. We already got a hey,
we're already
yay,
getting
Maddie.
messages.
That's
So,
my friend from back home.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of TSP, the Scuttlebutt Podcast. Myself, Richard, and my co-host Andrew. We appreciate you guys logging on, checking us out. Before we get started here with Mr. Matt Bertron, we have a message from our sponsor, and also I have a couple of things to say. I am in talks, and I've signed the go-ahead for Semper Designs to design a website for us.
Nice. Thank you, Chris Nobles.
Yes, he is going to call me. It's already signed. He's going to call me tomorrow, and we're going to lay it all out. So I know he's busy, and he gave me a great deal, so I'm not going to rush him. But
hey, he does good work, man. That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Next month or so, we will have a web presence. So we work under nonprofit called Minutes Wisely, TSP, the Scuttlebutt Podcast, and I have another podcast where I talk about sports, and that's on Sunday mornings at 0900. And all the money for the sports podcast goes to youth sports, and all the money that's generated here at TSP, it all goes to helping our veteran brothers and sisters here in Middle Tennessee.
Hoorah.
So there are links in the show description. If you'd like to throw a few bucks at us, we'd appreciate it.
Please donate.
Please donate.
We need your help.
We picked up some Patreon sponsorships this week also. Patreon's a good way to support the show. We have, you can donate as little as $5 a month. I picked up a couple $5 months, a couple $10 months last week. It really helps us out because that money goes to help paying for the website and the podcast productions. And also, like I said, we're a nonprofit, so the money goes to helping our brothers and sisters out. And so our main show sponsor is
coming up,
Jeffrey Savins. So we have them. There's Jeffrey Savins and Proven Valor.
Nice.
Yes,
thanks,
good.
Gunny.
So before we get started, a couple of weeks ago, we had a podcast with a Top Gun pilot, and he's doing some amazing things down in Florida. And I reached out to him and I asked him if I could play his promo to his movie that he's making. And he said, yes, absolutely. So I think every episode will start with that. What do you think, chaps?
Oh, dude, I love that video. I really do.
Right. He sent me the extended version today, so let's give this a shot before we start talking with Matt.
Okay.
And
3, 2, 1, lights on.
My name's Matthew Buckley. My call sign as a fighter pilot was Wiz. Served the United States Navy on active duty for 10 years and then flew fighters in the reserves for 6 years.
Being a fighter pilot for the United States Navy was the culmination of a dream. Dogfights at supersonic speed on the edge of consciousness. Life and death situations created stress, trauma, depression, anxiety, and fear.
Substantially healed me, and I was in a bad place. I wish you could have seen me. I mean, the before and after was profound.
You know, I joined at 17, even with all the classes, even with all the training, it just, the gravity of doing what we did for 20 some years was just heavy. and it weighs on me. It's like a giant backpack full of crap.
You know, we all have bad relationships. We all have, you know, we all have things that happen. Doesn't matter whether you're a fighter pilot or whether you're a CEO or whether you're a filmmaker. It makes no difference. The stuff that gets said impacts the kids. We've had a relationship off and on, but the last 5, almost 6 years, nothing.
Tom Bart. I was a F-14 guy, Top Gun graduate, strike lead, and I loved every minute of it. And I never got out of the cockpit for 4 squadrons in a row, so I was a little amped when I left the Navy. My intention here is to just stop dampening it with destructive self-behavior.
The military does an incredibly good job of training you for combat and doing some pretty horrible stuff to another human being. And then when they're done with you, they do a pretty shitty job of transitioning you back to being a human.
So I wasn't processing those traumas. I wasn't dealing with them. And unfortunately, for a long time, I was numbing them out with illicit drugs and all kinds of other stuff. So,
and I see that in many of my friends now. You know, there are lots of things, whether concussive bombs went off near us and, you know, sent shockwaves through us or whatever it was. It's these accumulated traumatic brain injuries that really change your mind.
That I am finally opening the door and taking a step.
This plant medicine has been around for thousands and thousands of years.
It took me on a journey downrange with these 4 other incredible men, human beings, veterans.
As a result of the medicine, I literally found God.
I took the ibogaine. It was like I got lifted up and then I exploded into forever. I felt infinity.
I was like, I want to see the masks, right? The masks that I've been wearing, and, you know, everyone puts the mask on, right? You got to be raw with people. You got to be open. You got to be honest and quit the fucking sugarcoating, right? And so he goes, okay, here's 3 masks. And I grab them. I'm like, okay, he goes, put them in this box. And he burns it. I think that's when I purged. But I could definitely feel the presence of spirit and the presence of sources.
because we started out sitting cross-legged with our rattles, looking in a mirror with all this crazy music, and everyone's going shooka, 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 shooka in that rhythm. Like, it just kind of teases things up, and I felt it coming on, and I went, oh shit, this is too much. That's when I put my eye shades on and I laid down. And for a few minutes, I just focused on breathing and just trying to remain calm and just trying to accept the medicine. And it just keeps coming. I mean, it just keeps coming. This stuff is powerful.
Can't be throttle all the time. You got to back it off and slow down and take care of yourself and cool off. And that's just something I'm really bad at. So it was nice to feel it.
What happens in this world is beyond logic. And when these heroes move from the speed of sound to the speed of life, the job really gets dangerous because so many of their wounds are invisible. Emotions get suppressed as a means of survival.
Daniel Summers, who served 2 tours in Iraq, took his own life. He was just 30 years old.
Sadly, he is not the first veteran to do so.
8,000 U.S. veterans commit suicide each year. That's an average of 22 per day.
We're here to tell you this is not the way out.
Literally 52 years of fucking ego, of regret, shame, pain, death, alcohol, drugs, disintegrated in the blink of an eye. I exploded into light, energy, love, indescribable.
I can guarantee you that when you do the medicine, that it's going to go inside you and it's going to scrub away all the stuff that you have in your life that's painful, that's shaming, that's whatever word you want to put in there, it's going to go in there and cleanse your body so that you can start with a new canvas. That's God doing that. He's using the medicine to do it.
And so I'm really looking to provide people that are at the end of their road another option and give them some hope. That's my bliss, is seeing other people, you know, take that step and move out. And I just know in the community I came from, people won't do it unless somebody they know and love has done it before them.
This project is filling a need for me to be a part of something bigger than myself.
I got, 54 years of counseling in a 12-hour period with the medicine. But here's the one thing I want to make sure everybody understands about it. I realize my work has not even started, right? For me. I'm not talking about how we're going to end veteran suicide. We are. That's a done deal.
It was peace. It was a peace that I have never felt before. We're going to be saving lives. We're going to be changing attitude. No higher purpose, no higher calling than helping your fellow woman, helping your fellow man.
On May 27th, with the opening of Maverick Top Gun, we step out of the cockpit into the real-life stories of decorated pilots.
We're going to heal everybody, not just veterans. Nobody's left behind.
No fallen heroes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay, so that's pretty intense, man. I get all of my feels when I watch that.
Me too.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. And hold on a second.
You lose your train of thought, Commander?
The next YouTube video started playing, so I was trying to close it out. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was doing too many things behind the scenes. But what I want, so I was getting the sound in my ear. I didn't know if you guys were hearing that. But before I get on to Matt, I just want to mention that Andrew and I started this show. It was just audio, and we started right here in my room. We'd have a guest here, and now it's a YouTube channel. And now we're working with a Top Gun pilot, and literally, I feel like we're saving lives out there. I just want to thank Andrew for taking this journey with me. I'm super proud to do this work with you.
Hey, this is your baby, man. I'm just here to look good. All right, I'm just here to look good.
Yeah, I think we're doing the right thing. The word is getting out. It's getting bigger and bigger, and I swear to God,
we're listening to these guys, and we're taking their stories. And that was, when you started this whole thing. I mean, when you started 20 years ago in the American Legion and the VFW, you thought about this, and you wanted to share this. And I'm honored, and I think Paul Freeman is our #1 fan. Thanks, Chief. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you, Chief.
Get back on your ship, Chief.
Paul Freeman asked when that show was going on. He wanted to know when that movie's going to air. And I swear, didn't he say like November 11th time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, November 11th. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
for Veterans Day.
But I think it's yeah.
Hey, Paul. I'll go ask Wiz because I think we're going to be doing a fundraiser for him. So
yes.
Hey, Travis Parrington. Good to see you too, brother.
Yes, so we got a lot of good things going, and at first I didn't think the pilot was going to be that receptive to us because officers are on a different level. We actually asked we asked remember we were at that outing for Dogs of War, and we asked that Annapolis grad to jump on with us.
And
he refused.
Oh yeah, he was like, nope, I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
but we got Uncle Si instead. So
yeah, we did get Uncle Si. So
it was a good, It's a good balance.
Yes. Not only did Wiz agree to hop on with us, but now we're going to be doing some fundraisers for him. He's doing some great things, and we definitely love helping him out. And we're going to be doing some great things also. But
that's good. Well, let's get to our guest.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes, Commander.
No, I was literally just getting there. Matt Bertron, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, y'all? How we doing today?
Fantastic, dude. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah,
Actually,
just a few hours ago, my friend.
Yeah, I saw you at 0845 and having a life-changing event this morning, which is awesome.
Amen.
So usually we start off and let our guest introduce himself. So why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name's Matt Bertron. I'm originally from San Jose, California. I am a U.S. Army veteran.
Calf Scout.
A few. Oh yeah, I actually was gonna open with that for you, Andrew.
Come on.
You ain't shit.
You ain't shit.
I was medically retired. At first, medically retired from the Army for post-traumatic stress in 2010, and then I permanently retired in 2013, and then God had a long, crazy road in between that time frame and now. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the backstory of where I'm from, and I've pretty much been all around since. Well, not all around, I should say. I got out of the Army in 2010. I moved back to San Jose for 5 years, and then I realized I couldn't stand that state, and so I moved to Tennessee. So now now, like the song says, I hang my hat in Tennessee.
God bless, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. How'd you pick Murfreesboro?
Well, I was. Well, okay. The backstory there is when I moved to Memphis back in, get my dates all mixed up here, 2016. It was for a company that I used to work for. Well, I always used to say, I wish they moved us to Nashville instead of instead of Memphis. And then, so when I stopped, I got 100% total and permanent, right? So, and non-employable, so I had to leave that job. And then when I got my medical stuff taken care of, as we'll get into here in a little bit, I said, what the hell am I doing here in Memphis? So I got the hell out of there and moved to somewhere close to Nashville. So here I am.
Yeah, right on.
And thank God you're here, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
We saved you from Memphis. Hey, by the way, no offense to Memphis, but thank God you're here.
No offense, JJ.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I was gonna say it, but I was like, nope. But you said it. You just opened up Pandora's box right now.
Yeah.
JJ, we love you, dude.
So, how was the barbecue in Memphis?
No, it's really good. When it comes to food, I like Memphis. There's a lot of, you don't have a lot of your chain restaurants out there. You got a lot of your privately owned stuff out there.
Yeah.
So, I made up with the right people, and they always tell me where to go and eat. And it's a good town when it comes to food. It needs improvement on some other things, but it's not.
So,
yeah.
if I remember correctly, like maybe a year ago, a semi took out a bridge and like the whole freeway to going through Memphis was closed. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So the I-40 bridge. It's old. It cracked. And
that's what it cracked.
Yeah, it cracked on one. I don't know exactly where exactly it cracked. I think it was one of the structural beams that came up under it or something. But anyway, it took, I don't know, I think a few months to fix it finally.
Yeah, it was down for a while. Because there were signs here on I-40 heading that way. I-40 in Memphis is closed. I was like, damn, man. It must have been a hell of a
and
crack.
they're still working on those roads to I-40 to Memphis, okay? Because I saw all of them last night coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, made the other. There's actually two bridges that go into Arkansas there. One goes into West Memphis, and that bridge was packed all the time because of the closure of I-40.
Yeah.
So, Matt, actually, what you got to tell me this, man. I know I give you a lot of hell. I did today too, and I'm sorry about that. Why'd you join the Army? What got you the bug to join
Well, it's okay.
the
So
Army
yeah,
or the military?
That's a hell of a funny story, actually.
I love your stories, dude.
So let me just go back a little bit. I kind of came up. How's the way to say this? I matured late, so to speak. So when I graduated high school, I was only about I was about 5 inch shorter than I am now, and only so I was 5'10" then, and I was like 145 pounds. I was a little skinny
runt. You're a runt.
And anyway, in fact, because of that, my friends called me the Birdman. That was my nickname in high school.
What?
Yeah. So because I got bird legs and a wingspan. Like, I guess,
nice,
I don't know.
good one.
My last name's Bertron. It kind of goes with it a little bit, Anyway, but I lacked when I was in high school, I was a wrestler, and I lacked a self-confidence that I needed to succeed in that sport. And it was just not just in sports, it was in life in general. And I'm not going to sit there and tell you people like punked me in high school, but I don't know. Because of my lack of self-confidence, I felt like they didn't take me too seriously, Well, anyway, I got out of high school and I just started working I was working at the sports bar I used to work for and in San Jose. And then about when I was 21, I started working for Starbucks. Well, I'll never forget, I was in Starbucks one day and let me go back. I had a Vegas trip planned coming up at this point. It was coming close to my 22nd birthday. And I was working and a old classmate came in and she said, "Hey, so what are you doing?" I said, "This." And she said, or I said, "How about you?" And she said, "I'm fixing to graduate high school or college." And I'm like, "Oh, congratulations, yada, yada." And then about an hour later, another guy came in with that I graduated high school with, and he says, don't laugh at him, "I'm in the Navy." So I, at that point, literally looked at myself and I said, dude, all these people I went to school with are doing something with their life, and here I am working at freaking Starbucks at age 22. You know what I mean? So anyway, so it got me thinking a little bit. And then right before I went to Vegas, me and my brother were at our buddy's house that lived kind of down the street from us, or from my parents' house, I should say. And then my brother made a drunken comment, "I think I'll just join the Army," or something like that. And I'm like, in my head, he was joking, but in my head, I'm like, that sounds like a great idea, actually. So, of course I was thinking, okay, it was 2003. So, the wars that just kicked off, this and that. Well, I went to Vegas. Now, this is the funny part. Went to Vegas. I had a freaking morning flight at 05. I literally came off the strip to the airport to fly back to San Jose and continued to drink at the airport. Got on the plane, had a couple more drinks. I was lit when I got picked up from the airport in San Jose. My parents were at school. I was the only one at home. An Army recruiter calls the house. I'm drunk as hell, looking for my brother. And I said, "He's not here." And he goes, "How old are you?" I said, "Sir, I'm 22. He goes, "Do you want to join the Army?" And I'm like,
damn recruiters.
I'm like, so I said, "Sure." "You come see me right now?" And I said, "Sir, I am in no condition to drive right now." And he's like, "Well, how about I come see you?" And I said, "I'm in no condition to talk to anybody right now." And he goes, "How about at 2:00? And I said, "Sure," in the afternoon, 1400. So all of a sudden, I'm awakened by the doorbell ringing at 1400. He's right on the dot. And I'm like this. Anyway, long story short, he convinced me to join the Army, brought me into his office, showed me, or I took the ASVAB, got I can't remember exactly. It was in the 70s somewhere. And he showed me all these videos, and he showed me the Cav Scout video, and it showed them riding in dune buggies in the desert and stuff like that. And I said, hell yeah, I want to do that. Well, I just want to say I never rode a dune buggy or a motorcycle in the damn Army the whole time. So, but that's what made me join the Cav right there.
Heck
And
yeah.
then
So,
The Cav.
let's talk about this cover that you guys wear.
Hmm?
This cowboy.
Oh,
hat.
the Stetson. He's talking about.
Oh yeah, the
The
Stetson.
Navy. The Navy guy is talking. You know, he wants to know about your Stetson, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have to? Is there requirements? Do you have to do something to earn this?
So you can wear. Okay, first of all, Stetson and Spurs is against AR 670-1 altogether. Okay.
Whatever that means. Okay.
Army.
We'll take your word for it.
Army Sorry, there's some civilians listening too. Army Regulation 670-1. There you go. But we always say the Cavs were the redheaded stepchildren of the Army, so we just do what we want. Anyway, no, there's no requirement to wear the Stetson, but to wear the Spurs, you had to go on a spur ride and pass the spur ride, get through it to earn your silver spurs, and then to get your gold spurs, you have to deploy to the war with a cavalry unit.
So do you have that?
I have all of them. Yes,
he does. He wore them all. He wore them on Sunday. He wore the Stetson with all his pins, and he wore his gold spurs on his boots and a kilt.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
he looked good. He looked good, folks.
It's on my profile picture on my Facebook page. Matt Bertron is my name.
Yeah, check him out.
Well, while we're talking, I'll try to find it.
Oh, now he's gonna find it. You're gonna get plastered. You're gonna get plastered on the scuttlebutt wall, man. Get ready.
So anyway, yeah. But so that's how I joined. I can get into when I was in if you want.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna dive into that, sir. I was giving Commander Fleek a chance to ask some questions too. I don't want to hog his spotlight right now.
Yeah, no, go for it, man.
Dude.
Okay.
Matt,
all right. Well, I went to basic training at the Fort Knox, the former home of the cavalry. We have a joke in the
nice. He's looking good. Look at that guy. Damn.
Yeah. I'm looking. That guy looks pretty hooah there.
It does look very. It looks very hooah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Oh, lost him.
He's frozen. I have to be nice to Andrew since I am on Facebook restriction.
Hello?
Paulie, no shit, man. No shit, Paulie.
What the hell just happened?
Oh,
you froze.
You froze for a second, man. I'm sorry. And I was giving Paul Freeman some shit. So continue, sir.
No, yeah. So I went to Fort Knox. We have a joke in the cab. You're not a true scout unless you went to basic training at Fort Knox, because they moved it to Benning. I can't remember what year, but it was a few years back. So anyway, my first duty assignment though was with 1st Armored Division in Büdingen, Germany, with 1-1 Cav. And I'll just give that a quick rundown. So I was with that unit for 2.5 years. Andrew, I kind of told you about it earlier today. Back in 2005, I got there in 2004. Back in 2005, the division got orders to go to Ramadi, but we were put on 1-1 Cav was put on immediate reaction force. And how basically that works. One troop is on 1 month call, then like Bravo troop would be on say 1 week callback, and then 24 hours for Comanche troop, and then every week it would switch. Anyway, we were supposed to go to Ramadi, but something happened in South Korea, and we got sent to South Korea for a few months, and for that immediate reaction force. So and then the rest of the division went to Ramadi. When we got back from Korea, we thought we were going to meet the division back there, but then they decided to shut 1-1 Cav down altogether after that deployment. So, well, it ended up being a couple more years, but anyway, that was the last deployment of 1 Cav. And so yeah, so anyway, 2.5 years later, I PCS to Fort Hood with 1st Infantry Division, 6th Squadron, 4th Cavalry Regiment. 3rd Brigade Combat Team, 6th Fort Cav. And then
and where'd you go with them?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. So
okay. I know, man. I'm goading you on a little bit.
Yeah, I got it. So that unit 3-1 was set up just to go to Afghanistan. It wasn't the actual real 3rd Brigade of 1st ID. It was just a 3rd Brigade combat team, and they ended up doing, I think, 3 deployments to Afghanistan. If somebody from 3-1 is out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was 3 deployments to Afghanistan. We were the first one in 2008. Now, in 2008, so here I am. I'm a young E5, and so a young NCO, never been deployed before. And basically, our platoon sergeant calls us in our office before, and he says, "Hey, we're going to the shittiest place in Afghanistan." And I didn't know better. I had nothing to compare it to, so I didn't know what the hell we were doing. Well, if anybody out there seen the movie The Outpost, that's where we were. Now, in real life, there was 2 outposts. In the movie, it says there's 1, Cop Keating. The reason why they use Cop Keating is because Cop Keating was the one that got overran, but really there was 2. I was at Combat Outpost Lowell, just 5 miles up the road. And we actually, in 2008, 2009, we actually got hit more than Keating did. And now, I don't have this exact number, okay, but it is give or take around this number. We got hit over around 300 times, give or take, and that's an over exaggeration. The only month we didn't get hit was in the month of February because it like snowed. It was the only month it snowed pretty much. But so one thing I'll say about that movie, if anyone's seen it, now the plot was totally made up because some of the characters in that movie were with us. Some of the characters with 173rd. In fact, Captain Keating was killed before I even got there, so that's where the movie kind of played that differently. But the way the wars fought in that movie on both those outposts is almost exactly accurate. Like the pop shots, like you'd just be sitting there, you know, just minding your own, and all of a sudden, pop, 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 pop. You're like, whoa, shit! And then sometimes they would set us up with a small. So how they did it, they would do these small attacks just to see how we'd react, and then once in a while they'd hit us with a full-on 300 plus Taliban try to overrun the outpost type firefight. And it was so, and I always joked with the Iraq vets, they would always talk about, like in BIOP or Ramadi or wherever they were, they talk about the green zone, and we go into the red zone or whatever you all called it. Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying that wrong.
No, that's right. You're good.
Well, at the outpost, there was no green zone. We were constantly in the red zone, even at home. And from mortar attacks to RPG attacks to full-fledged, just I'm going to take you out type of attacks. And it was all, we were on the defense the entire time. And I'll never forget, we got off the bird when we first got there. And imagine this, you're on this small outpost the size of a freaking parking lot, right? Surrounded by mountains everywhere. Literally got off the bird in the middle of the day and just like, what the fuck is this place? And in the whole deployment, we were on the defense. Imagine getting, and you know, some people say, or my ex-wife used to ask, why do you have to sleep with a gun next to you? Because I'm used to protecting my home the entire time. Because that's what it was. When you're at home, whether you're on the OP or the outpost itself, we're getting hit. You're never on the offense. We went on the offense like twice out of the whole deployment. And that's what it was. And the only reason why we survived is because when we got there, and this is why Keating got overran, by the way. Keating had the way we were set up when we first got there, the way 173rd had it set up is they had Humvees set up as fighting positions on the LZ. Well, my platoon sergeant, he said basically when 173rd left, what the hell are we doing here? So what we did is we moved all the fighting positions to the castle. That's what we called the castle. It was the main structure of the outpost there. We moved all the fighting positions to the thing. So when they tried to, if they overran us, or if they got on the wire, we can still fight from that position.
Yeah.
Meaning they didn't beat us yet. And that's why Keating, in my opinion, that's why Keating got overran, because once they broke past the line of Humvees, that was just open season all day long.
Done, yeah.
From there. Yeah. So they tried to overrun us like that on May 9th. Well, a few times, but on May 9th was the biggest one. They hit us with like, I don't know if I had to guess, 300 maybe. And that was like and the way they did it was amazing. Taliban, just because they speak a different language doesn't mean they're stupid. You're
right.
They hit, so first they hit the Cornegal Valley. I'm sure y'all heard that place before. First they hit the Cornegal Valley, which occupied, I can't remember which one, but it was either the Apaches or the Air Force. I can't remember. And then they hit Keating with a small attack. So basically Air Force and Army Apaches were totally occupied at that point. Then they hit us full on 300 plus. Now, in one of those attacks, so that was just to give you an idea how they used to do it. Now, in one of those attacks, which I don't recall this, but so I used to get concussions a lot in football and wrestling. And I used to just, back in the day, here, you good? Yeah, I'm good to go. Well, I was exposed to an RPG blast on one of those attacks, but I don't remember the rest of the firefight. But apparently, according to my guy that I was fighting there with, I was there telling him where to engage, doing my job, and I never went and saw Doc. The reason I tell you that, because later in the story, it's going to mean something. So anyway, I got concussed a few times out there, but just never got treated for it. And anyway, we left that place in 2009, and then went back to Fort Hood, obviously, and then I went to Fort Irwin after that. By the way, if anybody's still in out there, do not go to NTC to be stationed. By the way, that is a terrible place to be stationed. So what happened there, though, I didn't know what was going on. I was just doing my thing, doing my job, taking care of my guys like I always did. And I started having, I'll never forget the first night it happened. I didn't have a night terror, but have y'all, or Andrew, maybe you know what I'm talking about? You ever heard something that's not there, like an explosion or a pop, 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 pop?
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck? Well, that was happening every night when I was at Fort Irwin. Every night. And I didn't know what PTSD was at the time. You know what I mean? So, and then there was some incidents that happened where I would just start losing it on my Joes for no reason. And people look, even my fellow NCOs were looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
Yep.
And then, out in training one day, so a Canadian unit came in training one day. We had to train them to play op for wherever their outpost was, whatever. I can't remember where they were from, but, so we had to play Army. So we got a real mission, a real objective, and we had to go get this target that was in one of the buildings in the pretend Afghan town that was there, right? Well, it wasn't training to me at that point. I was really on this mission, if y'all know what I mean. And
you were full on. You were full
on. We're going in. I get my team inside this room, and there was some Canadian dude dressed as a Haji, and he goes, "Oh, I'm out of play. I'm out of play. I'm out of play." And he's on his knees trying to fuck with his weapon. And I booted him right in the fucking dome, dude. And they stopped training at that point. Talked to the first sergeant and my platoon sergeant, and I was just like, I don't know what happened. I just kind of lost it. And they all have been deployed before, so they got it, Well, about a month later, I was in Las Vegas. And again, there's a lot of Las Vegas going on.
Gotta love Vegas, man. Gotta love Vegas.
So this only one, it was about 1,600. I was the only one at a $25 blackjack table, and some freaking Haji was standing behind me, and he wasn't trying to start shit, but how they just kind of monitor the table, see how it's going, Well, I didn't feel, he was like literally right here, And I just looked back at him. I said, "Sir, can you stand like right here? Do you have to stand right fucking behind me?" And I don't know what he said, but he said something like smart ass to me, dude. And I just fucking lost it. I lost it. I snapped. I don't even remember, but apparently I busted his nose, and it took like 4 security guards to pull me off. I have no idea to this day how I did not go downtown Metro. For some reason, he fled the scene. I don't know why he did that, but he did. But I found out that day that Las Vegas, y'all, in case y'all need to know, Las Vegas casinos have jails downstairs. And I was incarcerated in one for 4 hours.
I did not know that.
Anyway,
maybe Katrina knows that. I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
One of the guys that was working down there, he was a retired sergeant first class, actually. And he ended up calling NTC, my first sergeant, actually. And anyway, I got called into the office, and I thought I was going to get like an Article 15 or something. But no, they sent me to psych instead. And yeah, got diagnosed with chronic post-traumatic stress, obviously. And so I didn't know I could have fought this at the time. I thought I didn't have a choice, but they medically retired me at the time at 50%, which I thought that was weird because I didn't want to get out, right? And then, so here I was, the Army's done. Things are going to be cake from this point on, right? Negative. No, it wasn't. That was the start of the fun, actually. And do you want me to get in that, or do you have any comments about anything else?
No. I mean,
I have a question.
Yeah. Commander Fleek has a question, and then we want to get into that other stuff because that's good. I've heard it before, but the guys at home, they need to hear this. They need to hear it.
So when you were on your outpost and you said that they were attacking, were they just like lobbing in from the side of the mountain, or they do a straight bum rush?
So it was either mortar attack, it could have been a sniper attack, maybe a team of maybe 5 to 6 guys out on, we had TRPs numbered throughout, 360, it works 360 degrees. So but that would just be to set up the large coordinated attack where they set up fighting positions everywhere and just so it was like this the entire time. And if it wasn't for, honestly, as Marines and soldiers, we talk shit for fun about the Air Force, but if I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for the Air Force, because on May 9th, man, we were fixing to get overrun.
Thanks a lot, Ross. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Brian Walker.
Yeah, there was Hodges coming down the south draw there, and I thought they were going to breach the wire, and all of a sudden, a 5 or JDAM, just the whole south face exploded, and it took out all of them, I guess. So, thank you, Air Force.
Thank you, Air Force. Yeah, we love our Air Force. We love our Air Force and our Navy. We love all the branches. We really do. I mean, I don't know too many Space Force people, so I can't really say it. But everybody that served in the military, we appreciate everything that you do and you've done for us. The ones that went before, the ones that are about to go in, the ones that have been there before. You guys, I mean, Commander Fleek, you were on a carrier ship that was about to kill the commies. Okay. And Paul, shut up, Chief. Shut up, Chief. You don't love me. You don't mean it. I know it. But no, Commander Fleek, dude, he was on the Carl Vinson. You were in Afghanistan, Matt. I was in Ramadi and Fallujah. I mean, we are war fighters, and these stories. I mean, I don't know, Matt. I've heard these stories from you before, but I'm super pumped up that you're talking about it right now. I'm really into it. It's like watching Father Michael give a sermon. I'm getting into it big time.
Yeah, there's more to that war, that deployment. That's real, intense. But I think the key point, based on the opening video that y'all showed, the story after that is what matters right now.
Yeah, and we want to dive into that.
If you want, I can come on a later date and talk about the deployment itself. But
Yeah,
But
we could definitely do a
I
part
just
2
wanted to
of
give
Matt
you,
Bertron.
I just
This
wanted
is
to
your
give you
show, man. You do what you want.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I based on today, I kind of want to tell the after story.
Yes.
All right. So when I got out, so it didn't affect me really right away. So I got my life before the Army was wrestling. I was a competitor and a coach. And then right when I got out, I got a head coaching job. So I was right back into a familiarity. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I didn't really, I mean, I had the things that I told you before about the things in my head, but nothing serious. And then I got married in 2013. And
Woo!
I got forced to quit coaching. So I was there finally in an unfamiliar territory mentally, you know, and all of a sudden something started happening to me. I couldn't explain it. I was literally reliving that war, a firefight, always a different one, every single freaking night. Everything would remind me of it. The oh, that tree looks like one by our outpost, you know, like something.
Yeah.
Freaking somebody's pouring ketchup on a burger. Oh, it reminds you of blood. You all know that, how much that is, right? Just something to trigger. But I didn't know what was going on. I would just start get irritable for no reason. I'd literally start taking my thumb, start doing this crap, you know. And then my ex-wife, what the fuck is wrong? I mean, in a nice way, like, what's wrong with you? Like, blah, blah, blah. Well, things started happening. Like, I just started flipping out. Like one day she goes, I forget what caused the fight, but she asked me to do something. It was just all nice too. She did nothing wrong. That was all me. That marriage, that divorce was all me. She asked me to do something, and I was like, why? And she said, because we need to do yada yada yada. I just started screaming at her. I picked up a chair, threw it through the freaking closet door, and she started crying. She started witnessing me having night terrors in the middle of the night. I would elbow her in the middle of the night. Yep. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Andrew.
Yep.
I would, this is all coming from her notes that she gave me, actually. She would be telling me stuff. I'd forget what she'd tell me. She would tell me to get stuff from the store. I would forget it. She would try to tell me how her day was, but my mind, I'd be zoned somewhere else, right? And I started just seeing people in general, and I'm sure some of y'all can relate to this. I started asking, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? At that point, everybody was fucked up. I said, I left for the Army and came back and everybody fucking changed. But in reality, it was me that changed. I did, not them. Right? And I would just, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, what is wrong with people? And just more and more things started happening. And then I finally got linked up with this therapist at the VA in Palo Alto, California. Dr. Emily Hugo is her name. And she obviously didn't cure the condition, but she educated me on it, where I knew it was finally happening with me. I said, okay, I got what the Vietnam vets used to have, you know, like that's how I related to it. Right. And so anyway, that led to my divorce to my she was my second ex-wife at the time, actually. First one was one of those boot camp marriages. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about.
Oh, we got a guy. He's on his fifth wife right now. And his name is JJ as well, which is really weird. He always was marrying strippers. I'm like, dude, they don't love you.
Yeah.
You can't marry strippers anymore.
Yeah, right.
Strippers do love you, damn it.
Well, the condition ended that marriage, I'm gonna call it that, right? And then I remember after that, I was really broken up about it, and because what's wrong with me, right? And then my therapist, now this is key, my therapist said, hey, Dr. Hugo said, you need to put a face on it. And I said, a face? Because I kept saying, I don't know what it is. It's like invisible. It's like attacking me, but I don't know what it is. So I wasn't technically Catholic, but I came up going to Catholic, like, believing Catholic type Christianity. So she said, you can't engage an enemy in Afghanistan until what? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, okay, you can't just start shooting at anybody, right? You got to have, and I said, positive identification, like that, right? And she says, yeah, because it's an invisible wound. So what I want you to do is put a face on the wound. So I envisioned it as a demonic entity, right? So that's key to the story here. So every time I would feel the irritability, or I'd have a night terror, or I would snap, or y'all get the idea.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, it's the demon attacking me again. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of coped with it and put a face on it.
Oh
right?
my God! Now
So-
now I understand why you when I first met you, you kept on saying that. I was like,
Yeah.
what demon is he? I'm like, okay, now it's clicking.
It was just it was the face I painted for the condition.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
But as the spiritual person that I am, I truly believe it is a dark demonic entity that found a weakness in me caused from that war and decided to attack it. That's how I truly believe, really. So anyway, so this actually started before while I was married, but I started turning to alcohol to combat this, which I will tell everybody on this podcast, do not do it. Do not do it. But unfortunately, when I was feeling like that, the drink would make it better. I use the word unfortunately very clearly. Unfortunately, it worked. Like if I was feeling, oh, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, like literally, like it would work. Unfortunately, work. Why other people would talk about it, make them more angry. Me, no, it brought me back.
Yep. Self-medicating. That's right, Paul.
And so that went on for years after this. Now, but I was functioning alcoholic at the time. I was still going to job. I was still doing my job. I wasn't getting drunk at work, but I would literally get off work. I couldn't wait to get to the bar though, because you're trying to focus on work and the entity would creep up and you're like, just get me to the bar. I need something to kick this freaking thought away. You know what I mean? So, so that's what happened. And I was spending all kinds of money on booze. I think I spent like $2,100 1 month on booze. It was bad. So, yeah. So time went on, in California, and, I got this girlfriend back in 2016, and I fell for her hard, really hard actually. And she left me because of the condition. She left me because I would elbow her in the middle of the night, or we'd be in line somewhere and there'd be cars everywhere, and I'd, like a drive-through or something. I'd be like, can we just get the fuck out of this goddamn drive-through? What the fuck? How it is.
Yeah.
Just totally in line, just totally impatient with people in general. Like I've been in line somewhere 30 seconds and I'm like, could people fucking hurry up? Like, what the fuck? And it freaked her out. So she left. Now listen to this chain of events. She left me, broke my heart. Then, before that, I was the night terrors are creeping up every fucking night before that. So dealing with that again, plus she leaving me. Then on top of that, one of my soldiers that I had in Afghanistan, who I got home safely to his mother, killed himself. So he was one of the 22.
Sorry, man.
I went down the darkest path known to man at that point. I was told by an author one time, don't pull any punches when you're telling these stories. All right. So I'm not going to pull any punches. I could not proudly say that I was going to Vegas every month. And I could not proudly say that this is how bad it was. I was not only getting shit-faced every fucking day and going to Vegas once a month, I was snorting freaking coke off hookers' bellies at one point in Las Vegas. Okay? That's how bad it was. I came home to California one time, and my mother, I said, who's listening right now? Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I had red on my nose, my ears, my forehead. People, what's wrong with you? Why do you have red all over there? I wasn't gonna be like, yeah, because I just went on a 5-day bender in Las Vegas with coke and alcohol. All You know what I mean? So, yeah, so it got pretty bad there, and so then my guy killed himself, right? And then, so I was in
your
my
mom
studio.
says hi.
Hey, Ma. So I was in my studio apartment in San Jose, and I'm having one of these, and just like freaking the fuck out, and no end in sight. You know how that is. I was suicidal, severely suicidal at the time. I pulled my 40 out of my safe. I put it to my head. So my safe would say here. I had my mirror here in front of me, and I had it here, and I was shaking, and I dropped the magazine right there with it to my head. Boom, click, cleared it, threw the pistol in my safe, slammed my safe shut, slammed my head against the mirror, shattering the mirror in 100 pieces. That balled up into a little freaking ball. And I called my mom after that, and I said, take me to the VA tomorrow. I almost killed myself. So she came over that morning. I was drunk as fuck when she picked me up. And by the time she got me to the Palo Alto VA, I was having, would you call them DTs, right?
DTs, yeah.
I was having severe DTs. Just my blood pressure was like 165 over 90.
Holy shit.
Like that. It gets worse than that. But anyway, that was my first trip to the psych ward right there. And I was the only PTSD patient at the time.
Wow.
That's a story for another day, but don't put a PTSD patient with people that are actually crazy, because it gets ugly. Anyway,
Paul, hold on one second. Paul Freeman, Chief. DT is called, it's delirium tremens. It's basically withdrawal from alcohol. Like you get the shakes, you start hearing things, you see things. It's really, really bad. It's when the body is craving it so much. Yep, there we go. Nice job, Scott Birmingham.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Thing about hallucinations real quick. That happened before the DT started for me, and I couldn't explain that either. There was a soldier, an Afghani soldier I watched die in Afghanistan, and I used to see him all the time. Not all the time, once in a while, and he wasn't there. And that was before I had DT, so it wasn't caused from that. And that's coming in a minute here. But anyway, so I recovered from that, though, and I actually stopped drinking for 3 months after I got out of the hospital. And my job opened up an office in Memphis, so I was like, okay, get me the hell out of California. So I transferred to Memphis at that point, and everything was going good at first when I got there. I got back to drinking, but nothing crazy, just kind of like socially drinking. Still too much, but not to where I was like having DTs and shit, right? And I was like, okay, I have it under control. So I was back to being like a functioning alcoholic again. And I'm not being proud of that, by the way, y'all. I'm just saying that's what my mentality was at the time. Like, okay, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? Which I wasn't. Okay, just point that out for the record. Well, I was kind of like a functioning alcoholic for a few years after that. And then it started getting bad again in 2019, actually. It started, I guess they called I heard somebody call it a PTSD relapse, right? And I remember I went to the doctor. They were trying to feed medications down my throat again. That shit wasn't working. In fact, some of the antidepressants made me even more suicidal even. So I stopped taking them. So that caused me to drink more. You know what I mean? Because I'm sorry, it's the only thing that's working. You know what I mean? So then so 2019, so Christmas Eve, that was an anniversary date for me. So I remember that's when I started drinking again, like a fifth a day. Then the pandemic hit. Okay. Now, President Trump said on a thing, he said, or a conference, he said, I asked the VA to up their mental health because this is going to affect the veterans the most. And I was like, Mr. President, right, I'll be fine. He was dead on. He was dead fucking on, dude. And I was dating a girl at the time, and this happened really fast. If anyone from Memphis was listening, you're probably gonna laugh when you hear me tell the story. I married her very quickly.
That's number 3.
She number 3, yeah.
That was number 3. Okay.
And I didn't know this at the time, but she suffered from bipolar disorder, and everything was fine at first, but never mix bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress under the same roof. Don't do it.
It doesn't even sound attractive at all.
So that was really bad. And this is how bad it got. Usually a wife you'd expect to be there for you. No, she would antagonize me. I was having a mental breakdown one time, and she was on, bipolar people. They're up or they're down. There's no balance, right? She literally handed me my 40 when I was having a breakdown and said, quote, in a demonic voice, imagine this.
Oh my God.
In a demonic voice with her eyes wide open, just like this.
Holy shit.
She said, here, do it, and I can own this house. Jesus. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And, yeah, oh my goodness is right, Paul.
My goodness is right, Chief.
So anyway, after weeks passed, cops being called because, again, bipolar, post-traumatic stress in the same roof, not a good thing. Anyway, she ended up, long story short, ended up getting committed. And then
Jesus.
Then my old platoon sergeant calls me up afterwards. And then we started talking about my history with the condition. And he said, have you ever gotten tested for a TBI? And I said, negative. And he's like, I'm going to link you up with this organization. It's this organization right here, Defenders of Freedom. And they basically, I don't know if she's listening right now. Donna Cranston is the founder's name. She has a civilian doctor. Dr. Goudet is her name. I don't know if she's listening, dude. But anyway, so I initially went there to get tested for TBI, but Donna called me up and she says, you can't be drinking while you're going through this treatment. Well, I already knew I was a full-fledged alcoholic at the time, and I knew I couldn't just stop, right? So I stopped, or I tried to wean myself off. For anybody who tries to do that, do not try to wean yourself off. It does not work, okay? I got there.
Very right about that.
By the time I got there, I was having DTs already, right? And so I would literally drink after treatment just to like not have them, not to get fucked up, just not to have the withdrawal, but it wasn't working. So what happened was after, I want to say it was the 3rd day of treatment. Oh, by the way, she had diagnosed me with a TBI at that point because that happens in the first day. So day 3 into treatment, or day 2 into treatment, the night before that, I was feeling weird, and I remember thinking I need to go get. I was totally out there. I was downstairs smoking a cigarette at the hotel, and I said I need to get something to eat. But I didn't even have my wallet on me. I just had my phone and my keys. As I was driving, this was in downtown Dallas, by the way. I forgot to clarify that. This was in downtown Dallas, Texas. I was not driving in Texas. I was driving in Collierville, Tennessee, where I lived. 7 hours from where I lived, but I was hallucinating that I was in Collierville. Then when I came to, I was lost in downtown Dallas. Now, my phone decided to play freaking GPS tricks on me and kept rerouting me back to DFW. So I called Donna and I said, hey, how do I get back? She got me back to the hotel safely. I was hallucinating all fucking night at that point.
No way.
I went down the street, got a 5th of Jack Daniel fire. Yeah, was it called the fire Jack?
Yeah,
Jack Fire.
I drank the entire bottle that night because I was hallucinating, just to not hallucinate, and came back to treatment the next day, reeking like it, coming out of my pores. You know what I mean? Well, they sent me to the behavioral health, the psych ward, pretty much. And I started having more hallucinations at the psych ward that night. And they took my blood pressure that next morning. It was 190 over 123.
Oh.
And so I went through detox there. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. I went 4 months after that without drinking, battling the condition. Now, people were asking me that knew me in Collierville, like, you know, I have family there too, and they were all like, "What's wrong? You're acting different, yada yada." I'm like, I'm battling this for the first time without alcohol. So, you know, the condition itself. You know what I mean? Well, I wasn't a Catholic, but I did know the Catholic priest in town, and I went to him one day, and I said, "Yeah, I know, Scott. It is." So I went to the priest that day. This was around December now, anniversary of the Christmas Eve attack. And I was just bawling in his office, and he, Andrew, correct me with some help me out with some terminology here. Basically confessed all the sins that I was doing.
Yeah, you did a confession.
Confession, pretty much, yeah. And
you were trying to get absolution. You were trying to get absolution from him for your sins.
I expected to go back home and be cleansed at that point, right? No, I wasn't. I felt that dark entity was kicking my ass at that point. And I was 4 months sober at that point, and I felt the darkness. I felt the devil himself in my freaking blood. And saying, "Hey, man, there's a freaking bottle of Jameson that you stashed a months back in the freaking cabinet back there," And here I am. All of a sudden, I was crying. I was just, oh, man. And I just took that bottle and just went, pop, 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 pop. And again, unfortunately, what it do? It worked. Anyway, relapsed at that point. My plan was, Andrew, you probably know what I'm talking about. My plan was to drink that day and that day only, right? Didn't work out.
You'll see. Yeah, I'm only gonna have one drink.
So now going back real quick, Dr. Gude, my brain doctor, she took my blood work. She warned me my pancreas was not healthy. That's how she said it. Your pancreas, she said, "I'm worried about your pancreas." Right? But so from January, February, March, April. So 5 months I drank again, right? Well, I started losing my appetite and getting bad acid reflux.
Yep.
And then my stomach started swelling. And all of a sudden, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she came home from work one day on the May 31st. She came home from work, and I was in absolute pain from my belly button all the way to my back. And she goes, "Babe, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm in fucking pain. I couldn't even walk. That's how bad it was." So she rushed me to the hospital. And then they put me on all kinds of drugs, obviously. And now I didn't know this until I woke up, but they put me on a ventilator on June 1st, 2021.
So this is just a year ago.
Yeah. Now this is where it gets weird. Now to the audience, what I'm fixing to tell you, you could choose to believe it, but I swear to you from the bottom of my soul, this is honest to God truth. What I'm fixing to tell you right now. When I was in that induced coma on the ventilator, I was not just in a sleep. I was literally in a black space, just me. I can feel my hands as I'm touching him now. That's how real it was. I can talk to myself and hear myself in my head just as I can hear it now. But there was nothing. It was just black. I can feel the ground below me, but there wasn't a ground below me, if that makes sense. It was almost like I was in a virtual reality room almost, All of a sudden, a blue path appears, followed adjacent with a red path, like a trail. And it glowed. It wasn't like a street road. It was just like a glowing road that led to nowhere. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Then I looked over to the red side of the road, and I saw it for the first time in the physical form, the demonic entity that I pictured in my head. it was a shadowy looking figure, kind of grayish, and you could barely make a mouth with these lifeless eyes, right? And it said to me, "You're coming with me now." And I looked at it and I said, "The fuck I am." And I started running up that blue road and it started to follow me. Well, it kept trying to go on my side of the road, but it couldn't. Something wouldn't let it do it. Now, next thing I know, the road was coming to an end, and I was in this old Western setting at that point, and I was dressed as an old cavalryman back in the, I'm going to say it, Andrew, a cavalryman dressed as they dressed during the War of the Northern Aggression.
Yep. Yep.
And it was in the form, the entity was in the form of an old outlaw-looking cowboy. Right now, it shot me with a pistol at that point, right in the chest. Now, in real life, apparently, anyway, I don't know what was going on there. They had to like tie me down or something. I don't know. But anyway, I remember I couldn't move though. I didn't fall to the ground, but I couldn't move. And I kept telling myself, "Come on, move your hands, move your motherfucking hands, move." And I was able to move. And the next thing I know, I was running up that road again. And then the road came to an end again as the entity was following me. And then all of a sudden I was on Combat Outpost Low again. By myself though. It was like it was May 9th again. That attack was going on, but none of my guys were there. It was just me. I was there by myself. And then the Taliban had me surrounded all of a sudden on the LZ. And one of the leaders, I guess, came out to talk to me, and it was the entity. And it said, "You're coming with us now." And I took off up that road again. All of a sudden, I just was out of Combat Outpost Lowell, and I took off that road again. Now, the road ended again, but it was back to the black space. And I saw a white light up in the corner, just very small, looked like about that big. And I couldn't run, I couldn't fly, but I can like swim. Does that make sense? I could swim, kind of.
Yeah.
The thing grabs me by the ankle and spins me around. And it says, "You're coming with us now. It is your time." And demonic sounding voice, by the way. And I looked at it and I cocked my fist back and I said, quote, "In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I defy you." And I punched it, and his what's it called? His face kind of peeled back, and I swam to the light. And as I opened it like that, I remember doing that. I was literally sitting there with tubes hanging out my mouth, with a doctor standing over my face, saying, "Do not try to talk." And they helped me lean over, and I spit the tubes out. And I guess they were expecting me to be like totally out of energy and drugged up at the time, but I screamed at the top of my lungs, "What the fuck just happened right now?" And she said to me, "Do you know what day it is?" And I said, "Memorial Day," because that's the day I went out. And she goes, "No, it's June 12th. I said, "What the fuck just happened?" "Sir, we're going to tie you down again if you don't calm down," the nurse says to me. Well, I'm just going to tell you, from that day on, I felt this feeling within me driving me. From that day on, I had no thoughts of alcohol anymore. I had no thoughts. The condition was still there, but it was bottled up. Everything, I have trusted that feeling from that day on and has not guided me since, or has not misguided me since. And, I went through the chemical dependence program at the VA. Yeah, that helped a little bit. They encouraged me to go to AA. I didn't use AA though, and God bless you all that use AA. If it works for you, then do it. But it didn't work for me. Whatever that feeling was, I decided to follow it, and that was it. Just follow that feeling. Well, later I found out that feeling was the power of the Holy Spirit. And
Amen, brother.
And that's what brought me to what happened today.
And what happened? What happened today, Matt?
Yeah, what did happen today?
What do you mean?
I know what happened. I just want to hear it out of your mouth.
So I didn't tell you this first part. So let me tell you leading up to this. Now the entity is still there. It's kind of like I got my foot on its throat though, and it does get pissed off. Now let me tell you what happened in the month of May. So May has been a very bad month for me, as you can tell. So not only from the war, but you know, my ex-wife got committed in the month of May. The Memorial Day weekend is when she did get committed, and that's when she popped, you know. So so May's been a pretty, you know, bad month for me, you know, overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the dark entity tried to fuck with me all month, tried to get me to crack, but it didn't. Now, what happened today, when they called us up there, Andrew, when I forget what he was saying, and I'll tell you, you'll understand why I forgot what he was saying in a minute. While he was talking, before he, you know, blessed my head, put water on my head, and did the oil on the head, that thing, he was doing his little speech, right? The entity was fucking with me. It literally, I felt its presence. You know what I mean? And
at St. Paul's, you felt it at St. Paul's.
Felt it.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off for 1 second, Matt. Matt got baptized today in the Episcopal Church at 0845. That's him. That's Matt getting baptized by Father Michael with the acolytes and his two sponsors, David and myself. And he's getting the water, he's getting the oil, and it's the Holy Spirit is now just has been washed over Matt's body.
Yeah.
And that happened today. That happened this morning. And I teared up a little bit. Like I did. It was kind of like it took me back to my own baptism. I was really proud of you today, man. Really proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. And so before that, you know, it's great you showed that picture, because what I'm telling you, the one where he had my head bowed and he was putting that on my head. So this was happening. So what was happening though, in my theory, what was happening before that is the entity was pissed off this was happening. And
I know you did, Mom. I know you cried.
So the entity was pissed off, and you're gonna love what I said in my head before we, you know, what this picture showing happened. I literally in my head said, quote, "Complain all you want, you son of a bitch, you lost."
Amen.
And
Amen.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa Marie. Anyway, and
we
then
will overcome.
So then after what you're seeing in the picture happen and the oil thing, I felt the feeling, the good feeling, the power of the Holy Spirit. I felt it just lift me up. Do you recall me looking back at you, Andrew?
I did. Yeah.
And when I look back at you, that's when I was like, I just felt it. It was just like a energy charge just charged through my body. You know, the
dude, it was just it's a beautiful thing today. Today was Pentecost for all you Christians out there. Pentecost is a Christian holiday. It's when the Holy Spirit came over to the disciples, and usually on these high holy days they had the baptisms. So they baptized Matthew, and then they had a little kid that got baptized as well. They did it in the morning. I guess they do it early because it takes a little bit. But I've never been prouder to be there for Matthew. So I was really happy for you, Matt.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to say in this is, now what this feeling has told me to do. Now, when I say for all you who are interested, what I mean by the feeling, the Holy Spirit, it's not a voice, it's not a vision, it's a feeling. It literally is a feeling. Like, it tells you what's right and what's wrong, right? And you just got to trust it. Now, so when I say,
I am so glad. Oh man, I'm glad you said that. That's
now,
awesome.
and now listen. Now, this is what I'm gonna say now. All right. I promise you, there's a lot of you out there that don't believe. There's a lot of you out there that are semi-believers. Now, I'm not a priest. I'm not a preacher.
Not yet.
I'm just gonna tell you, based on my own experience, I promise you 100% from the bottom of my heart, it is real. Okay? It is 100% real.
Amen.
And you just got to find it and trust it. That's all you got to do. And I promise you it won't steer you wrong. Now, here's what I'll say. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. Now I bring up that feeling is because I'm sure a lot of you have seen me post a lot of my stuff on Facebook. Now I'm training to be an amateur boxer right now. August 20th is my fight. If anyone's interested, here in Murfreesboro.
Or Smyrna, or Laverne, right?
Yeah,
or is it Murfreesboro?
It's Laverne or
Laverne, yeah.
Now,
so it's only 11 miles away. It's fine. Still in the same area.
If anybody's wondering why I post the things that I post on social media, it's because I know from experience that if I tried to preach to any one of y'all out there that has the issues that I once had, if I tried to preach to you, y'all would tell me to kiss my ass. I don't need your help. Because you know why? I used to get pissed off.
It's true.
When I saw people that were squared away, I'd get pissed the fuck off. I would hate on him. Fuck that guy.
Too.
He's all squared away. Why am I sitting here getting drunk at the bar? What the fuck? Fuck that dude. You know what I mean?
Too.
So I get it, and I understand. If any of y'all listening, I understand going into this. That feeling that I keep preaching about told me that you're going to lose friends over this, and you're going to have people hate on you over this. But it said, keep doing it. Keep preaching, or keep bragging about it. Keep telling people about it. Keep showing people how you rose from the ashes from nothing and came to where I am now. It's possible. You can do it. And you can ask anybody who knew me back then.
Wow.
I was a freaking mess, dude. I was a mess. I was 236 pounds of nothing. No confidence, no self-confidence, drinking alcohol every single day. Just depressed at the world. Fuck everybody. It's everyone else's fault, not my fault. You know what I mean? It was the conditions' fault. It was the Army's fault. It was the Taliban's fault. Fuck
Blaming
that.
something other than yourself. Yes.
Yes. But
we've all been there.
But now, and I post the things that I post is because a lot of you out there who posted on the IW website, that's a Reverend Warriors, by the way. A Reverend Warriors website.
What's the mission statement of Reverend Warriors, sir?
Mission statement for Reverend Warriors is to combat or bring veterans together. Bring veterans together.
Using
camaraderie. Humor and camaraderie to improve mental health. And that, there's a picture right there.
You're welcome, Nate. You're welcome, Cindy.
Yeah. And so anyway.
Damn, look at you, dude.
But I understand that when I post my things on Facebook that people hate me. People hate the fact that I have came from the ashes and rose to this. You can hate on me all you want. You know what? I don't care. That's your call, and I'm not going to change. So
yeah, you're gonna get haters.
You look pretty ripped there, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's not lifting weights, by the way. That's all boxing and cardio, believe it or not. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I went into this recovery, and the training, the boxing training, the recovery from alcohol, and my restored faith in the Lord. I knew I was going to get haters because you know why? I was one of those haters before. I was one of you haters out there.
Me too.
I used to hate the fact that dude came in all ripped and in shape, and here's me all fat, 236 pounds at the bar. By the way, now I'm 175 pounds, and I'm still cutting to 165 for the fight. But
oh yeah, with yeah, there's your coach.
Well, there's me and Coach right there. I gotta.
Don't jab right here. Jab right here. Don't jab right here.
Nice. That's a good right. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man.
Back it up.
I want to see you and Eric go at it, man.
He would. He might be listening because I told him about it. He would absolutely destroy me, Andrew. I don't even know. What
dude, Eric, dude, Eric would kill me. He'd kill me.
You're talking about a pro that has
30 seconds.
You're talking about a pro that has 30 fights. I've been fighting since, or training to fight since February. So
dude, if Eric hit me once, I'd be knocked out. Damn, that boy both you boys can fight, so that's good.
No, but I will give. You know what, Eric, you might want to. Eric, if you're listening, you should get on the show too because he has a story.
We'll get him.
Not like mine, but he rose from the ashes too, and became what he became because
Eric,
of boxing.
yeah.
So
this Eric is Eric Draper. He's Golden Gloves. He was Army. He's in Veterans Treatment Court, same as me. And this boy can fight. I mean, and our VFW has been sponsoring him for like 2 years right now. He is awesome, and hopefully we can do the same thing for you, Matt.
Yeah, and then hey, I gotta reiterate one thing. I have my mind goes nuts, y'all. I'm sorry. I kind of
dude, we're squirrels, man. All of us. I gotta jump. My 3-year-old is calling. Okay, bye.
Bye, Lisa.
Thanks for jumping on, Lisa.
Thanks for jumping on.
That's my friend from California. So anyway, one thing I'll say back to the haters thing. Look, y'all, if you decide to quit drinking because you're like if you're drinking socially, that's one thing. I was drinking to forget. If you're drinking like I was drinking and you decide to quit doing that and take my path, you're gonna lose friends. Okay? Because you're gonna find that a lot of your friends are people you just drank with, and that's it. And they're and they're gonna tell you, if you were to tell them right now, hey, I'm gonna stop drinking, y'all, they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna be your friend forever. Well, guess what? When you see them, yeah, they'll say hi, give you a hug, yada yada yada, but they're not gonna invite you to go places anymore.
Dude, fake friends. They were just acquaintances for you. That's what I learned.
They're not gonna invite. They go, oh, he doesn't drink anymore. Now I don't go anyway, so it doesn't bother me. I still have friends that are good friends now. They still, hey, we're doing this. You want to come? And
but those are those right there are your true friends.
But,
those guys.
What I'm saying is going back because that's what stops a lot of people to take the path that I took. What stops a lot of people is the loss of friends and just the total change of lifestyle. That's what it's fear. Fear is what stops people like us from people like me and Andrew who went down that dark path and rose, right? The fear of loss of friends and the fear of not knowing what the fuck you're going to do with your life is what stops you from doing it. Well, I say fuck it and just do it because I promise you feel better. And dude, you think more logically too.
And the promises will be filled. I mean, dude, I've got shit coming back in my head that I haven't thought about in years. And people are like, how do you remember that? I'm like, dude, I stopped drinking. I'm starting to remember shit again.
So, yeah. So, and especially, and Dr. G, if you're listening, this is for you. Especially if you have a traumatic brain injury like I have. Do not drink alcohol with it because that makes it 10 times worse. And I know what a lot of y'all thinking. Wait, you're a boxer with a TBI? Yeah, I never said I was sane.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, what I'll say to Donna and Dr. G, if you're listening to, would you rather me get hurt in the ring or die drunk? I will not. I promised my mother and people that were close to me when I got out of the hospital. I said, I promise you one thing: I will not die drunk. And that's basically what I am.
Dude,
and that's pretty much it.
This has been an amazing show. We got a lot of feedback on it. Well, actually, I can't see it. Commander Fleek, probably a lot of feedback tonight.
Yeah, I think you just see it. You got to click on that comments.
Yeah, I've been
on top right.
Chat. I think it says chat.
There's a chat. Can you see those? I'm not sure.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, I see them. I got to go through them.
Paulie wants to know what a TBI is.
Oh, traumatic brain injury. It's basically yeah. Oh, and that's another thing that people need to understand too. So, what mine's mild. There's people with worse. It's gosh, I should have talked to Dr. Gude before this. It's right frontal lobe brain damage, and what it is just nerve damage. Now, and it's caused from multiple. It's the same injury fighters get, same injury football players get. It's from multiple concussions, is what it is.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So what they're going to find out, and what they're already finding out, Dr. Gude is already working on it. Is a lot of these people, I'm one of them, obviously, I just said it. A lot of these people that get diagnosed with PTSD back then are finding out that the whole time the medications didn't work is because they had a TBI the entire time. TBI mirrors the TBI symptoms, the mild one, like I have, mild TBI, it mirrors post-traumatic stress disorder. So PTSD. So like if you look at the TBI symptoms and the PTSD symptoms, they are almost exactly the same. So that's why they're being misdiagnosed. But people like Dr. Gude, she is, finding this, that it was misdiagnosed from the VA from day one. And this, if y'all are interested in that, it's called Defenders of Freedom. His name is an organization. So if you're interested in it, take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
And their website has a bunch of stories from other veterans that have worse TBIs than me. And it's pretty, they've changed a lot of lives, that organization. Just because of that, mine, because again, treated for PTSD for 10 years to find out a TBI the entire time. You know what I mean? So, so it's worth looking into. If you have PTSD and your medications aren't working, most likely you have a TBI. So
yeah.
Look into that.
Well, that's awesome, man. And dude, I thoroughly enjoyed hearing your story, and a lot of people needed to hear that tonight. And
yeah, and you broke a record because we've never went an hour and 33 minutes.
Yeah,
before.
this is like this is a PR record for us, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good,
hey,
man.
no, don't apologize, man. People need to hear this stuff.
We got all night.
And it's Paulie Freeman said very informative.
Yeah.
Chief, you are informative, sir.
Yes.
That's big coming from you, man.
Thanks, Chief. Hooah.
Hooah. But Commander, you got anything else, man?
No, man. I just want to say thanks for hopping on with us, and God bless you. And I am so glad that you won, because now you're a member of our VFW, and we get to hang out now.
And we get to hang out with you, and we get to, and you get to be our PR guy, or on the team of our PR, and head it up and get us sponsors for the golf tournament. And I don't know, just do some. I know you're going to do some amazing things with us, and I'm proud to take over as commander. And I want to learn from you guys, because I've never been commander before. So I'm gonna be talking to Fleek over here, to Matt, to Dave, to all my officers, and we're gonna crush this year, man. We're gonna crush it.
Yes.
Hooah. Well, what do y'all say in the Marine Corps? Aye, sir.
Aye, sir. Hoorah, sir. Hoo-yah, Chief.
Hoo-yah.
But hey, Matt, I love you, man. Commander Fleek, I love you too.
Yes, I love you guys.
God bless y'all. May the power of the Holy Spirit bless everybody. In God's
Amen.
name. Amen.
Yes, sir. And thanks for everybody for jumping on. We appreciate it.
See you guys next week.
See next Sunday. 1900 Central Time.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks for having me, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
All right.